Hello, everyone. This is Kane, and that is Ella, and welcome to the Book Dragons podcast.
Hey.
Um, so, I think to start off with, what have we been reading recently? If we have been reading, because I've still what reading the Sleeping Around partly. Um, that's really been it. I've been trying to get back into manga again, but I keep not doing it. Um, but I'm enjoying the Sleeping Around at the moment. I think I'm coming up to halfway, I believe. Yeah, that I'm liking. Um, you're reading it as well. Have you gotten any further?
I haven't had a chance to read any more of that because basically, when I have had a chance to read, I've been reading The Last Zara by Kristen Ciccarelli because I'm in a book club and we're reading The Last Zara for August pick. So when I've had a chance to read, I've been reading that.
Oh, nice.
Haven't had a chance to read anything else, but what I have read so far of that has been good.
Yeah. You enjoying reading The Last Time Zara again? Good.
I'm listening to the audio book this time, which I haven't heard that one before, and it's really good so far.
That's good.
Kind of gives me like, have you heard the audio?
I think I listened to the audiobook of actually I think I have the audiobook of all of them, I think. I
Because it
really
kind
liked
of
it.
like the person's voice, I don't know, remember her name off the top of my head, but she kind of like gives me like Lara Croft vibes.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, I get
So
that.
yeah, it's been quite cool to
Yeah.
listen to the audiobook.
Yeah, when I reread that, I have to read the actually read it next time rather than audiobooking it. So I'm doing the reverse of what you've done.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because I think because I have all three books, but I think just because I was at the time I was like traveling 2 hours to and from work, so that's 4 hours a day of me just sitting on a train. So I'm like, I'm just gonna get an audio book of it, and I think I managed to do it within a week. And then I just carried on from that because I got used to the format with the audiobook. Um, which I really like the audiobooks of them. But next time if I do read them, I'm definitely gonna have to read them properly. Um, but yeah, I don't know if there's an actual good order to rather audiobook first or read first. Um, I don't know if that's even relevant, but yeah, I definitely want to read next time.
Yeah, I've read them all. I haven't listened to the audio books for all of them, but yeah, I'm enjoying it so far.
Good, good. Um, so yeah, talking from books to writing. Um, you were saying that you're carrying on with the first book. Are you like
Yeah,
adding stuff, or is it like a second draft, or?
I'm on the second draft and I'm basically like filling in the blanks and like bulking it up more
Yeah, cool.
and making it more interesting. But yeah, it's going okay so far, but
Good.
fortunately because of work and everything I haven't got a lot of time to work on it all the time, but
Yeah,
I am trying to when I have days off to work on it, even if
that's
it's
good.
just a page or something.
Yeah. Well, I guess it's good because if it's a second draft, you know where kind of what you want to happen, so you don't have to worry about forgetting stuff. So, like, if it was a fresh, like a new book that you're writing, that I think you need to do at least spend an hour on if you're going to do it. But I think with drafts, you can just jump on for 10 minutes, do I don't know, yeah, a paragraph, and then be like, yep, that's it. To carry on next time.
Yeah, it's just hard to like when I'm working on it because obviously I know what's happening and I know the scene that I'm on. It's hard to always have like the motivation to carry on with that scene because it's like I've written it already.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah.
But it needs to be done. A lot of people have this problem where you have to write it like 100 times before it's done.
Yeah.
Um, but I still love the story and I want to finish the book because I am thinking about publishing it.
Nice.
So it needs to be done.
Yeah. Have you looked up publishers and stuff? Like if you was to?
No, I'm still debating whether or not to do traditional publishing or do indie publishing.
Yeah.
I'm just weighing my options.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because yeah, I was sorry, go on.
No, it's okay, you can go.
Okay. No, I was just gonna say the one that I'm wanting to publish myself, the holiday
Romance
drama
one.
romance one. Um, because it's quite a thin-ish novel, I'm like, okay, that's a perfect one to sort of write, like go over the draft, get proofread, edited, all that within the year and release it at the end of the year. And I think last year when I started it, I was looking up all the publishing options, but I think for at least the one I'm doing, the best one I found was Amazon because it's completely free. They deal with everything once it's up on their site.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
like I don't, kind of lazy in a way, but the issue with all the other ones, I think I found out was that some are cheaper than others, but then you find out, oddly enough, that the more expensive ones are the ones with worse customer service and like trying to if you're trying to like edit stuff. So say if you, I don't know, you've published it for like 3 months and then you realize that you've made like had the paragraph that you're meant to delete out, for example. Apparently, like some of the bigger ones, it takes literally up to like 2 months to do it. But with Amazon, it's like overnight and it's done. Because I think those they with that they print on demand, while the other ones I think is like the whole issue of printing in bulk and then you just being stuck with however many books. I can't remember the name of it, but there was one which I think was 40 quid. Um, and that's ebook and online shops. So I think it was on like Barnes and Noble, and you could
Okay.
do Waterstones and some other ones. But yeah, that was quite good. But there's so many, it's kind of hard to sort of suss out the good ones if you because the issue of Amazon is it's only on Amazon. That's it.
Yeah.
But I think you can do like dual publishing, so you can stick it up on Amazon and then publish it elsewhere. I think I could be wrong. But yeah, with the one I'm doing, because it's my first one, I've got hype kind of around it. I've got like 10 people that wanted to read it, which is quite good. Um, so I know that people will want to get it. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I think because also I've not got a funding for it. I don't want to spend money and then not get anything out of it. Um, so yeah, Amazon was just like perfect for it because I think it's quite a niche book I'm writing. So there's only going to be like one sort of group of people that would want to read it. While with your one, for example, because it's kind of mystical, thriller, drama, dabbled in romance, if I'm correct. It's got
It
a
has
bit
a
of
little bit of romance. It's mainly like
yeah,
horror and
yeah.
gory and yeah.
And so with that, it's just one big area that a lot of people like. But my one's quite a niche because it's romance is one thing, but then a holiday romance is another thing. Um, so it's but yeah, um, it's yeah. I was just like go for the free, cheap, easy option.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look at what more options of what I can do.
Yeah.
But my uncle actually published his book on Amazon as well.
Oh, cool. Good. Is it good then? Did you say it was all right?
Um, it's okay, but he didn't sell many of them. I think
Oh,
he
okay.
got like a lot of like family and friends to buy it.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
probably didn't do as well as what he was hoping to. But yeah,
Yeah. But yeah,
that's still
that.
not, for
Yeah.
everyone it's going to be different.
Yeah.
Especially because we're younger and we've got more like social media. I think that would definitely help
Oh, definitely.
to publicize it and get the word out about it.
Yeah, because yeah, Amazon is kind of overpopulated with stuff because it's free. Everyone's probably doing it.
Everyone's doing it, yeah.
So, but yeah, talking from that to the romance book, that's the one I've been working on at the moment. I think I hit like the halfway mark. I want to say last month. I think during Nano, I'm pretty sure I didn't even pass Nano. I think I got like only 10% of my goal done, and then I completely forgot about it. Um, but I think I managed during Nano. I think I managed like 900 words. I think the goal I'm trying to aim for the book is 15,000 words, so it's not going to be a big
Oh,
book
okay,
at
yeah.
all. I think I
It's like a novella size, isn't it?
yeah. I think it's going to be roughly 150 pages. I think I could be wrong, but something around that. So yeah, thankfully I've hit the halfway mark. I think that sort of gives me a little bit of motivation as well, because like I guess if you started writing, you're like writing and writing and writing, and also sort of like when you're reading a book that you enjoy, but it's quite thick, and you're like, oh god, I've not even hit the halfway mark yet, and you just keep on reading, and it doesn't go any further. So yeah, I was like that for a while, but now I've hit it. I think I'm 17,000. No, that's it. I want the book to be 30,000 words, and I'm currently at 17,000. So like I'm past the halfway mark. Don't worry, it didn't buzz. But yeah, I think the point in the book is where there's something goes wrong, and because I've not fully planned it yet, annoyingly, the stuff I'm going to be having to do is like the research and the sort of ideas of the dynamic of everything and all that stuff. When before, like at the start of it, it was quite easy to write because it was just sort of like made up scenarios and stuff, so it was really easy. But now it's sort of like gotten a bit deep, I guess. So I'm trying to like have to think a little bit more about it. But I think once I get over that, it should hopefully be a breeze. But yeah, I'm trying to write, even if it's a paragraph a day. I'm just trying to write something. Because I wrote earlier on today, and I think I managed like 300 words or something. It's not substantial. But I think I need to get in the mindset of anything's better than nothing. Because I used to sort of like, there's no point in writing, I only get a paragraph done. I'm like, well, no, a paragraph's better than not writing. But yeah, I am enjoying it at the moment. But I am, again, I'm glad this is going to be the first one that I'm sort of focusing on fully, because as per mentioned in the other episodes, I've written that thriller horror novel, which is twice as thick as this one's going to be, a lot more in depth. I need to go over for the second draft because it's completely wrong at the first half. And it's just nice to know that the first book I'm going to properly finish is smaller, so make it less of a challenge for myself before I go into the bigger book. But
have you plotted through the whole thing, or have you only just like got how far you've gotten?
I've had like a general idea, like a beginning, middle, and end thing, but I've not written down any notes for it. But because of the genre and how the book goes, I'm kind of glad I haven't, because then the story can progress naturally, I think, rather than me sort of. I had like faint ideas. But yeah, I thought it would be better if I just sort of go with it naturally, so then I can sort of gauge what will happen as it happens. Because I might write out like I could do like the whole 8 paragraphs, eight bullet points per chapter, and go from that. And though that will help a lot with the actual writing of it, I think with this one at least, I think if I once I finish it and read it back, I'm like, no, this doesn't fit well. So I think it's good that I'm going at least with this one. But yeah, back to the horror one. I was very silly for not writing notes down for it, because by the time I got to the middle of it, I'm like, well, I've forgotten half of what's happened. I have no idea where I'm going to go. So yeah, that wasn't fun, but I'm learning. But yeah, after this one, which is going to be 150 pages, the horror I think is about just under 300 pages. But then I have a sci-fi novel which I have an idea for, but it's very faint idea. I need to like sit down and plan it. I'm hoping that that's going to be about 400 or 500 pages, so it's going to like develop.
Oh, wow.
Each one is going to be thicker than the next. But I'm kind of, as I said, I'm kind of glad like it's like that, so I don't have to. There's less stress, I think, if it's a smaller book for the first one, and then I can learn from this one to the next, and then the next one after that. Because yeah, I think I have another book planned for the romance, sort of connected. But with that one, I that was probably going to be about the same size. So it's nice to know as well that I do have smaller ones planned, like smaller books planned. So if any of the other ones get too overwhelming, I could just hop on that one.
Yeah, it gives you like options to do.
Yeah. So is there any other books that you're focusing on?
I'm just focusing on my horror at the moment. I'm taking a break from my other ones because I really want to focus on this one and just get this one out of the way, because I've had the idea for this one since, like I said, 2014.
Wow.
So I want to get it done. But I've also got like a draft for a thriller book that I've done. I've got about midway for a romance novel that I've done.
Nice.
I'm also making my way through a poetry book that I'm doing.
Nice.
I don't think I'd ever want to publish my poetry book, but
No.
I don't know, maybe. It's more like a
Personal project.
yeah, and like if I have no ideas of what to write, like I write in that kind of like my own life, kind of like a diary, like when I have
Yeah.
thoughts, I write it in then poetry form.
That's cool.
What else have I done?
A few.
I also have like, because I have Pinterest, I have lots of boards of ideas that I've got, and I've got so many, and I want to work on them all right now, but I can't. I have to hold up because otherwise I'll never get anything done.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm trying to hold off from doing the other ones. But yeah, I'll finish this one and then I'll go to my thriller and then probably my romance one.
Nice.
But yeah, that's all I'm doing at the moment.
Cool. You have any issues with your writing at the moment? Because I think for me, it's sort of, as I say, though as I was saying earlier on, it's nice to be able to write as it's progressing. But because of that, I need usually like a good 10-20 minutes before I write to sort of like mentally prepare and be like, okay, so this is the general idea of what I want to happen. But with your one, you have quite a lot of notes, don't you? So does that come in handy, or is it the opposite at times?
I've basically planned of, like you said, about doing, I think there's 4 to 8 bullet points per chapter.
Yeah.
And so I basically planned each and every chapter out to the T, which in a way I like to do that because I like to know where I'm going, because otherwise I just get stuck.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there's some scenes it does limit me of what I can and cannot do. That's why sometimes, even though I've got my book next to me where I've planned it all, I sometimes ignore it and write what comes to mind, especially when I do like writing sprints or I get a prompt. I sometimes go off a bit, so then I'm able to include that. But yeah, it depends. Sometimes I like plotting, sometimes I don't at all.
And that's one thing with the sci-fi novel I am going to do, because it's quite a big book. I know I will not be able to just wing it, essentially.
It's definitely like, it helps if it's like a bigger book, if you have more plans, even if it's just like a beginning, middle and end, and you just go with the flow in between those. Because otherwise you don't know what you're going to
do. Because I think I kind of had like a very basic beginning, middle, of end and end for the thriller novel, like very basic. But though I struggled with the whole point of not writing notes down for the first half of the book, I think in the second half it came in handy having that sort of idea of where to get to. So when I was writing, I knew it was like, okay, so as long as this doesn't affect how the middle's going to be, that's fine. And then I was like the same at the end. It's like, okay, because at the end of the thriller, there's sort of a couple of characters that I want to sort of meet together at the end. But the issue I had with the thriller novel is because I think it's over 3 or 4 characters' point of views. So that sort of spans like well, the whole book essentially is sort of like it hops characters. So then you sort of get different points of view and perspectives and stuff. But I think nearing the end, I'm like, okay, I want them all, at least 2 or 3 of them, sort of clumped together at the end as a sort of like a grouping of not only the people but like the story. So it's like finally comes together at the end, like literally with the characters. And as I said, because it's in different perspectives and different sort of times of like the story of the book, I needed to sort of like make sure that the chapter beforehand of a different character links up to the ending of that chapter. As I think you probably remember the whole time issue of my book, and I had to
Yeah.
literally draw like a really basic diagram to try and figure out where is
I remember the
who was
drawings.
where with their horrible drawings.
And like you didn't know the names of characters, so each one was just like name
Name,
in like
yeah.
capital letters. And
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I got a couple of them wrong when I fixed them. I finally fixed them, by the way.
oh,
um,
that's good.
but yeah, I was
Has
remember
it
looking
taken you
through.
ages?
Yeah, it took what 2 years to finally get to it. But yeah, so every time I read over it, it just sort of was like, I don't know who's who at this point. But thankfully, some of them you could get away with it being wrong names because you won't realize. Um, but yeah, that was another issue I had was names because I'm like, no, I've got to start writing. So I did, and then I was just like, who should I name? What should I name them? What should I name? And I didn't come up with it until like chapter 3. And at that point, I was like, I think it was because of Nano, because I just wanted to focus on getting the words down opposed to having a book that made sense, which isn't good. So I just spent too much time on the writing, which was good because it got the whole main idea down. But yeah, it took me about a couple of hours to finally get through the names because I basically had to reread all the sentences beforehand to then try and understand who was saying what after that. But I've learned since then. I make sure any time a new character comes in, they automatically have a name or even some sort of description to go by, which is yeah, very handy.
Yeah, my characters are always named before I even start the book. It just helps.
Yeah,
Sometimes they do change, like for my horror novel, a few of them changed
yeah,
completely, um, which was a bit confusing at first, but then they suit their names more now.
yeah,
But yeah, I like to do it before I start.
yeah. That's one thing with the all because the romance novel, the name of the book is the names of the characters. So I never have an excuse to forget their names because it's repeated
Yeah,
about
because the name of the
20
book.
times. Yeah.
My main character, her parents I didn't name for a long time, and it wasn't until I got the idea for my second novel that I actually came up with ideas for
Oh,
their
okay.
names. So now I actually have their first and last names, whereas
That's
before
good.
I didn't have a clue.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Nice.
sometimes it happens.
Yeah. But yeah, thankfully with this one, I had the names straight off the bat. I'm like, okay, I need names. I'm not gonna go through that whole name thing again. So yeah, I was like, okay, so I've got everyone's names down. I've make sure who's who. Um, but yeah, I think the other issue is sort of like past tense, present tense, all that stuff. That's a palaver. Um, Partly because Google spell check tries making me autocorrect the words into past tense when I need them present tense, and it just completely throws me off. I'm like, you should know what's the right word, but then I'm like, is it the right word? And I'm always questioning myself. But I guess that's what second, third drafts are for, and people reading it over because they can like understand it a bit better. Um, but yeah, it's going well, so I don't mind too much. I think because I think the main focus is getting words down. That's what the sort of main focus is. So even if it's wrong grammar, as long as it makes sense, I think that's what matters.
Yeah. Yeah, I try not to focus on spelling too much if I'm like, because otherwise you focus too much on the words rather than what you're going to write. That makes sense.
Yeah,
So I try not to focus on it. Plus, they say that when you're like doing NaNoWriMo, to not focus on the editing side
yeah,
of it, just focus on what you're actually writing, because otherwise it takes longer and it takes you out of the story to keep doing it.
yeah,
So
definitely.
I try not to, but like seeing all the red lines, it annoys me. So I always
Yeah,
like, even though I'm not meant to, I don't always do
same. I think
it.
I think whenever we do sprints, that's usually what I do is like after the sprints, I usually sort of go back from what I wrote and try and like fix the red or the blue or I can't remember if green's a thing anymore, but yeah, like try and
Green,
sort out the squiggly line. Because yeah,
yeah.
I think red's spelled wrong, blue is like grammatical errors, and I think green used to be like a word replacement thing or like a word that's better fit or something. This is on like
Well, you're taking
Microsoft
us
Word
back
years
now.
ago.
I can't remember.
But yeah, like I hate seeing those little squiggly lines. I'm like, gotta fix it.
That just annoys me.
But it annoys me even more though when it's correct and it's still giving me the blue line. I'm like, because you click ignore, but then it comes back next time you're on it. Like, no, go away.
It annoys me because obviously I write fantasy. It annoys me like I spell a name and I spell it right, but it's telling me that I spelled it
Yes.
wrong. Or when it says a spelling and it wants to change it to the American version of the word.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, I don't mean that one. I mean this one that I already put down. But it's just like, no, it's wrong.
Yeah.
So then they either click add to dictionary or I have to click ignore.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it doesn't like it.
No. It's handy but
So,
annoying. Writing routines, I think we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
But I don't really have one. I think at the moment, because my work is 9 till 2, I try and it's quite quiet. So at least this week, I've been trying to write whenever I have like a spare moment during work, because my work is like I do what I need to do, and then it's just basically if no one emails me, I don't have anything else to do, which is quite nice. But no, when I have that, I'm sort of like, okay, I've done everything I needed to do, and then I sort of like, okay, I'm going to write for half an hour, even if it's only the one half an hour. I always make sure I do that. I think I've done that every day this week so far. Is like at least written for half an hour during my free time, which is quite handy. Also, because my work's on the computer, I could just swap a tab open and then sit down for 20 minutes. But the thing that usually helps me write, which can be annoying as well, is I have to have some sort of noise on. So I have to put like the TV on, because there's certain music that I can listen to, but it's very short. So I'm gonna have to, it's just sort of trying to eliminate distractions, I think. So like whenever I used to have like a playlist open, I like the first 2 songs, I'm like, okay, that's cool, I can write to this. And then I was
Have you
spending
had
10
like
minutes.
non-lyrical music?
Yeah, I think one of them was some soundtracks from TV series and stuff, which were quite chill. But because it's a TV series, some of them are chill, and then others are like really high and fast paced. I'm like, nope, I can't write to this. This is not fitting for the scene that I'm writing. So I usually just chuck on some random TV program at like a semi-low volume, so it's sort of loud enough for me to hear it, but not so much that I'm end up watching the TV instead. But no, it's like that with my reading. Is like I need sort of a good level of noise, because if it's too
No, I have
quiet,
to be really quiet for
oh
me to
no.
read. Otherwise, it just,
Well, for me, it's more like if I'm reading, it's sort of more like if I'm sitting in the garden or if I'm at a coffee shop or something. So there's background noise, but nothing immediately in my ear, kind of thing. So it's like that with writing, but with writing, I could put on a TV show, but reading, I cannot. I cannot put a TV show on while I'm reading, because I will definitely get distracted, which is probably not good. But yeah, sort of like with writing, thankfully there's some sort of thing I found, because beforehand it was terrible. It's sort of like, because writing's on the computer, I usually have, because I think the issue I had was what I was saying with the music is not only the music itself is the fact it's on YouTube. So if I go on YouTube and try and look up songs, next thing I know, I get a notification of a new video that's come out. I'm like, oh, just watch this, and I'll get back to my writing, and then I don't. Which yeah, is annoying. So I do need to try and find a way to sort of stop the use of the internet, if that makes any sense. So like I might open up because I use Google Docs, so I might open up the documents, so I have it there, and just unplug the internet, so I cannot use it. But it's there for me to read, and I'll use like Google, like Microsoft Notes or something really basic like that. Because I was thinking of like handwriting it, but my hands aren't very. I can't think of the word for it, but they can't last long while writing. They like ache and hurt. I'm like, that's not good, because I think I tried before and it was quite handy. I think I did that with the thriller novel I did, where I was handwriting it, and it was quite a lot nicer, but it's slower, I think. But yeah, recently it's sort of sit down 20 minutes. I think sprints is definitely the way to go for me, because if I like, okay, sit down for an hour, I will end up finishing a drink or something, then I get up to get a refill, and then that's it. I'm straggled away from the writing for the rest of the day. Do you have any issues of like not so much distractions, but something that sort of makes you stray away from the writing or anything like that?
Definitely YouTube.
Yes.
And then when a friend messages me, or if I get a notification of something, um, I might start using, like, there's this plant app, I can't remember what it's called. And it's either a plant or a tree. And if you use an app or open an app before it grows or the time ends, then it kills the
Oh, okay.
plant. So yeah, I might try that.
That sounds cool.
But yeah, I always get things that distract me.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I have days off, I normally find like around 11 o'clock, maybe 10 to 12 is my time to write. And then I'm actually in the mood to write. And then after that, I just chill. But yeah, definitely, it's definitely the time I like to. But for work days, if I have like a half a day, so I finish around, I get back about 1-ish. So I write for a while then. But most days I get back to like 5, half 5,
Ouch.
from 6 o'clock. So I'm just like too tired.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll try and write as much as I can. But yeah, I do get distracted with those apps. Definitely YouTube.
Yeah. Because I think I tried to writing on my phone, like whenever I was, because most of the time I am on my phone. So I'm like, well, why not just get Google Docs on my phone and I'll write on it? That ended very quickly because again, notifications like the pop up, and it's just even easier to just not write when you get like spams and stuff. You're like, okay, let's just go on this. Let's hop on that app. Let's hop on that app. It's very annoying. And so I don't even bother with that anymore. But I think it might come in handy if it's a long journey or something and you do want to write or you have an idea. It's quite handy to have on your phone, I think.
Yeah, but on my phone, it does come in handy sometimes, but most of the time I use it on my laptop because, like you said, just plus obviously for obvious reasons, it's much smaller.
Yeah.
And yeah, I like to have it on big screen.
Yeah.
So that I can do notes and everything while I'm actually writing as well, rather than just having it on a small screen.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you have any, other than sprints and prompts, is there any other sort of ways that you write that's a bit different? Because I know there's obviously just a sit down and write, or there's the people like I used to time it sort of against kind of like sprints. But it was like a lot longer, so it was like 30, 40 minutes at a time. But yeah, sprints I think are definitely good. Prompts are good. I think prompts are better used with sprints. I could be wrong in saying that, but I think because sprints, the whole point is writing quickly, and then having prompts, you have to try and get to that point. It's like double as quick. Or is it too much stress? I think trying to like, well, I guess you don't have to use a prompt that's given to you, but like you kind of want to make sure you do it. Because I remember when we did prompts a while back, I think every time it was sort of like, have you done the prompt? No, not this one, but then we did it the one after. So it was like every prompt was done the one after the one we were meant to do it with. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there is a different way that I write apart from the prompts and stuff. I just do it however, plan everything, write it all down. Yeah, I think it's just the same.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Nice.
Did you do anything different?
No. I think I think I just sort of the only thing I do differently is how I'm set up. So like I'll still do sprints and maybe prompts, but I think it's always because thankfully my mom's got a laptop, so I use her laptop downstairs. It's like, so I have different places to write because I think up in my room where I am now, If I'm writing, I have my phone distracting me. I have my PlayStation distracting me. I have YouTube, Google, everything. But because the laptop, it's quite slow. So if I don't want to do anything of it, I'll probably get bored waiting for it to load up before I actually get onto it. So I'm using that at the moment because it's sort of, yeah, it
Limits
kind
you
of,
to what you can do.
yeah. So like if I put up a YouTube video, it will probably be like really slow and constantly rendering. So I will not be able to enjoy a YouTube video on it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of handy because it like forces me to just stay on there because that's the only thing I can do is go on like Google Docs or emails or I can go on Facebook, but there's not much on Facebook. So um so yeah, thankfully that's actually come in handy, the slow laptop, because yeah, it kind of limits what I can and can't do on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, have you got
Yeah, I
any
might have it set up too because I have like my laptop on my desk because it definitely helps me like get in the mood more to
yeah,
write if I'm at my desk. And I have a stand as well and a keyboard as well, which
nice.
I got for Christmas, which definitely helps me get in the
Yeah.
mood to write. But yeah, it definitely helps to have your own little writing area to
Yeah.
um, get into routines and everything. Because if you're in the same spot every day, um, it doesn't really help.
No.
But yeah, I'll go from my desk to my bed, or like when it was like warm, I went outside and did some writing outside as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, it definitely helps going to different places and writing.
Yeah. Yeah, that exactly is quite handy with reading as well for me. Because I think the issue I had before was with my old work, I was working in the front room, I was eating in the front room, chilling in the front room, reading in the front room, and then sitting in my bedroom. It's sort of like, well, thankfully I'm a bit better now, but before it was sort of like the only time I was in my bedroom was to play games or sleep. So whenever I came in to try and read or write, I just couldn't get in the mood for it. But yeah, thankfully now I sort of make sure I write and read, do a bit of everything in my bedroom as well as in the front room and stuff. So I'm a little bit, I think you need to try and get into a habit as well to sort of make your brain not think one room's dedicated for one thing, if that makes sense at all.
Yeah.
Because yeah, that's the issue I had was like as soon as I come in my bedroom to I don't know write or read, I'm literally on the verge of falling asleep. Um, which is I'm better now because I don't know why, but yeah, that's the issue I had before. But I think now I think because I do it more often, I've not so much recently, but because I write and read more in my bedroom than downstairs, I think that sort of yeah helps me not feel as automatically tired. um, but yeah, I think it's good to sort of well, it's always good to have a place to go back to, but it's also good to sort of yeah go to different places and be in different areas and stuff.
Definitely.
Yeah. Was there anything else you wanted to add about your writing or reading or anything like that?
I think we've covered everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about
Cool.
you?
No, I think because I'm a bit behind on my reading and writing, there's not much else to add. I think, but no, I think I'm definitely getting better with my writing recently. So I'm hoping next time on the next episode I can talk a little bit more about what I've been reading and writing. I'm hoping. If not, you can tell me off. Um, but yeah, so I think that's it for today's episode. So yeah,
Okay. Thank you everybody for watching, and we'll catch you next episode.
yeah, bye.
Bye.